Welcome to the Auburn Volleyball Report as we talk it over with Tigers head coach Rick Nold. Auburn is on the road this weekend. The Tigers go to Missouri and Arkansas following a one-match weekend at home against Kentucky. A three-set loss to Kentucky. Coach, your overall thoughts about the loss to the Wildcats Friday night at Auburn Arena.
It was obviously not something we were really happy with. I said afterward I didn't think we really came out in any phase of the game and played well. And it's probably the first time this year that that's happened. And we talked a lot after the game as a team, and I think we've got to look in the mirror and understand each match out how much it takes to be successful. You even look at that match and we were so far behind in a lot of areas, but two calls go different or two plays are made different, all of a sudden it's a 23-22 game, and
right.
It's just you got to come out to play, and it's something we have to learn, I think, as a team. And part of that is we've had some success early, and learning how to deal with that success and learning how to understand what those expectations are. I mean, we're playing top 25 teams, and it's something that we want to be in that conversation, but it's tough. You got to get out there and you got to play each night.
You came out in set one and got an early lead, and then it appeared that Kentucky took the momentum and really never let off the momentum for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and we've talked recently about that, and that it's a battle the whole match. That's the way you have to look at it. You can't go out there and take one big swing and then think that has that much effect, and so Kentucky's a good team, and they responded, from that first little shot we gave them, and as a team we've got to learn how to come back from that as well. They came back and made a run at us, and we've got to be able to respond, respond to that.
How do you handle post-match after that, where seemingly very little, if anything, goes right on a match like that one?
I think you question yourself, as a staff, as a team. I mean, it's because you want to learn. You don't want to let that situation come up again. It's not questioning yourself as putting doubts. It's just a matter of trying to get an understanding of of what's it going to take where we don't see that again. Again, they're a good team, but we look at ourselves, and a lot of what we're trying to measure after each match is how do we rank compared to our best. If we go out there and play really well, another team does too, and they beat us, it's a different story. But in this case, I feel like we didn't show.
Was there anything on the night that you can take out as a positive from the match?
Had a good crowd. It
was a good atmosphere. You're right.
It was. I mean, and it continues to get better in there.
Right.
We're excited about that. And as a team, it's one that, again, I don't think there was an area that we would say we played well in. And that's just trying to be honest with them and with ourselves, right, about where we are and what we got to do, and it doesn't change what we go in, for this week and what we do. We got Alabama on Wednesday, and that's going to be a big match,
right,
and we've got to get ready for that one.
Alabama is a home match. That's 7:00 at Auburn Arena on Wednesday night. Then the Tigers are on the road for the weekend at Missouri and at Arkansas. Let's take it one match at a time. And what do you expect from the Crimson Tide Wednesday night at Auburn Arena, Coach?
They're a very quick attacking team. They use their middles a lot. We split with them last year, and when we lost at their place, and their middles got really involved. And so that's the thing that we're going to probably have to really serve tough and try and keep them out of system as much as possible, because they're really athletic in the middle, and that's without a doubt their strength. So you got to find ways to stop that, and again, serving is a big part of that. All
right, Tigers will be at home Wednesday night, as mentioned, then on the road. First of all, at Missouri on Friday night. You had two really good matches with Missouri a year ago, as I recall. I mean, very competitive, right down to the final swing, so to speak.
Yeah, it was a great match with them, and they've got a really athletic, balanced team. This year they're undefeated. They got a really good team, and for us, again, we go in, and we've got a stretch here of some tough matches. It's going to be that way the rest of the year probably. But those are the ones you're going to measure yourself against. It's a team that we feel like we were right there with last year, and hope that we've improved this year and we can go out and have a different result. But you go to Arkansas after that, who won their two matches in conference this weekend. So again, it's a tough week, and that's what it is every week, and that's what I think we've got to embrace, that challenge.
Is it making too much of it to say this is a little bit of a turning point in the season for your ball club?
Definitely think it can be. You look at matches this weekend. I mean, winning a couple of these matches, I think gets you in a much better position. We start off we feel pretty down right now because we're 0-1 in the conference,
right.
And it's one of those things that you go through. And right now, this is a big week that I think we could take a step forward. We could show a lot about ourselves and kind of learn something. Again, we're kind of going into uncharted waters, I guess, with our team. And just what the expectations are. And so, for them, it's going to be a learning process every day. Once we, if we, really play well this weekend, then it's learning how to maintain that and not feel like it's just going to be an easy thing. If we don't play well this weekend, we've got to still respond and come back. So, again, every day we're trying to learn.
Friday night at 7, let's start Wednesday night. Wednesday night at 7 against Alabama at Auburn Arena. Then on the road, Friday out at Missouri at 7, and then the Tigers play at Arkansas Sunday afternoon at 1:30. Wish you all the best this week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks a lot.
For Coach Rick Knoll, I'm Andy Burcham on the Auburn Volleyball Report.